Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on our latest all-new edition of the Milford Informer. I am Milford TV's Executive Director, Tim Coet. Before we get into our top stories for you this week, we want to address the major headline that took place here in the Milford community earlier this week, and that was the fire that impacted the Turtle Tavern as well as several apartments over on Main Street on Monday evening. A 4-alarm fire that began sometime around 5 p.m. on Monday evening and quickly engulfed the building in flames. The Milford Fire Department, of course, located right across the street, was able to get to work fighting this fire right away. Unfortunately, the building does appear to be a total loss. That earlier this week, according to Milford Fire Chief Mark Nelson. And so many individuals here in the community, as well as a well-loved business establishment, displaced as a result of this fire. So the attention in the community has quickly turned to what can we do to help those impacted by this tragedy. And so there are some resources out there that we do want to make sure everyone is aware of. On your screen right now is a QR code that will take you to an official GoFundMe page that will help all of those impacted by this tragic fire. So again, we encourage you to follow that QR code. Just scan it on your mobile device right now, and that will take you directly to the GoFundMe page where you can donate to help the victims of this fire. And of course, as we always see in the Milford community, those very quickly willing to help lend a hand to those in need, and that's what we are seeing in the community as well in the aftermath of this tragedy. The Brothers Tavern, as well as several other establishments in the area, coming together to produce a community fundraiser that will be held here in town later this month. It's coming up on November 22nd. It's being held at Brothers Tavern, and this is an opportunity for folks to come together and again to donate to those impacted by this fire. So it's being held on November 22nd over at 31 Central Street here in Milford. It will be a night of music. There will be raffles and a $10 entry fee. 100% of the proceeds for this community fundraiser will go to the victims of this fire. So those are two major resources we wanted to make sure to bring to everyone's attention. We'll continue to try to follow up in any way that we can here on Milford TV to lend a hand and also shed a spotlight on any of the resources that continue to become available. I know many in the community have been asking throughout the last several days, what can we do to help? So we'll continue to make those resources available through all of our online platforms and here on our Milford TV channels as well. So we'll continue to follow up with this story as new developments become available. So as we move on to our top stories now of this week, we had some familiar faces here in our Milford TV studios earlier this week, as this is a time of year as we talk about donations. This is always a time of year of great generosity here in the Milford community as the Milford Scouts host their annual Scouting for Food drive. Those pickups for those donations will be happening this Saturday. So if you're joining us on our premiere airtime, that is tomorrow morning that you can get those donations out on your front steps, and the Scouts will come around to pick them up. But we had an opportunity to be joined by several of the Milford Scouts to share all of the details on this year's Scouting for Food drive. Well, this week on the Milford Informer, we are so happy to once again be sharing all of the details on a very exciting event that happens at this time every year here in the community. It is the 2025 Scouting for Food Drive, and who better to share all of the details on this year's Scouting for Food Drive than a group of Milford Scouts. We have Elise, we have Adrian, and we have Isaac joining us on the show this week. Thank you so much for being here on the Milford Informer. Welcome, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome, guys.
Thank you.
So this is such a great event here in Milford. We've had a chance to have some other scouts in years past to tell us all about the drive. So we're going to get into all of the details. We're going to have you share with everybody out in the community everything that they need to know. But first, we want to learn a little bit more about each of you. You're all part of the Scouts here in Milford. So let's start with you, Elise. Tell us a little bit about how long you've been doing Scouts.
I'm not sure how long, but I know I've been doing it since the second year in Brownies.
And what are some of your favorite things about being part of the Scouts?
I like selling the cookies and when we go camping.
Do you have a favorite cookie?
I like Thin Mints.
Yeah, who doesn't like Thin Mints? They're definitely my favorite. How about you, Adrian? How long have you been doing Scouts?
I've been doing Scouts since 5th grade, and I think that makes this my 5th year of Scouting because I'm in 9th grade now.
That's great. And how about you? What are some of your favorite things to do with the Scouts?
Some of my favorite things are going on campouts and doing activities like Scouting for Food.
That's great. Now, Isaac, how long have you been doing Scouts?
I've been in Scouts for 5 years.
That's a long time. And what are some of your favorite things to do with the Scouts?
One of my favorite things is the Pinewood Derby. You make the car, and then you race it down the track.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
What color was your car the last time you did it?
I made like an ice cream sandwich.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's excellent. So many fun things that the Scouts get to do. And again, one of those big events is Scouting for Food. So there's 2 big weekends with Scouting for Food. This weekend coming up, you'll actually be collecting donations on Saturday, November 8th. But this past weekend, there was a big start to Scouting for Food. Isaac, what did you guys do this past weekend?
We went and hang the tags right there on the doors or on the mailboxes, so then they'll know to put it out next weekend.
And Adrian, what do the tags tell everybody to do?
The tags tell people when to put out their food and what foods to put out and how exactly the Scouts will get them to the food pantry.
And Elise, is it good practice to hang all of the tags the week before? Do you end up going to some of the same houses the next week to collect donations after?
Yeah, I usually, I'll hang them in my neighborhood, and then I'll see when I go to collect them, a lot of them are from, the houses that I hung the tags on.
That's great. And now you all have done Scouting for Food before. Adrian, what was the experience like when you've done it before?
It was pretty fun. So, the first weekend we go and put the tags on, and the second weekend we pick up all the food and help sort it out at the food pantry.
Isaac, what have you liked about doing Scouting for Food before?
I like when you're at the pantry and you sort it out. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a big job, but you guys always do a great job. And Elise, why is it so important to be able to get these donations?
It's important for families and people in need who need this food and can't buy it on their own or can't get it.
Yeah, and very important now more than ever to be able to get donations to help people, especially at this time of year with Thanksgiving right around the corner. Really important to be able to make these donations. Can any of you tell me where the donations go after you collect them? Do they go to the Daily Bread Food Pantry?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do great work here in Milford. So again, just a great cause as part of Scouting for Food. So again, the collection day is coming up this Saturday, November 8th. So depending on when you're seeing this interview, it's just a couple of days away. So what time? Who can tell me what time the donations get started? When should people have the donations out on their porch?
I would say maybe
Good to get them out early, right?
It says
Yeah,
by 9 a.m. and then to 3 p.m.
Yeah, so it's good to get those donations out on the porch, get them somewhere clearly visible, right? Because you guys don't want to miss them.
Yeah.
So get them somewhere either on your porch, maybe by your mailbox, so that the Scouts, as they're driving around, know exactly that you have those donations and to pick them up. They can put them either in a box or a plastic bag, right?
Yeah, and you could put the tag so they know it's for the Scouting for Food.
That's a great idea too. So if you've got one of those tags on your door this weekend, make sure you attach that to your donations. That'll make sure that the Scouts know to pick up those donations. Adrian, what are some good things that people can put out as their donations?
Generally non-perishable things are the best, like canned food and sometimes cereal boxes and stuff.
That's great. So looking at some of the other things, canned goods, peanut butter, pasta, cereal, pancake or muffin mix, instant soup, rice or beans, powdered juice or milk, dried fruits, snack bars, and also some things like diapers too are important, right? So those are good things to donate as well. So all important items to keep in mind for you to put out for the drive this weekend. And so again, it's coming up on Saturday, November 8th. Elise, what is it like? Again, you've done Scouting for Food before. What is it like on that day? It's got to be a lot of work to be able to go around and pick up all those donations.
Yeah, I think it's fun because I usually do it with my troop, and it's fun to go around town and find which houses have put out stuff.
Are any of those donations heavy, Isaac? Sometimes.
Sometimes if there's a lot of cans, maybe.
Yeah. What besides sorting the donations? Do you get to go out with a lot of your friends from your troop in the morning to be able to go and pick up the donations?
I haven't gone with my friends, I don't think yet, but maybe I should this Saturday.
So again, these guys do a lot of hard work to collect these donations and then get everything sorted and ready to go for the Scouting for Food drive. So one more time, we want to remind everybody out there, it's coming up this Saturday, November 8th. Make sure you get those donations out in clear view outside of your house. Early in the morning, the Scouts will be going around all morning long to be able to pick up those donations. And if you happen to not have your donation picked up, you can drop it off outside of Brookside Elementary School. That's also maybe if you live in a townhouse or an apartment or something like that, you can drop those donations off at Brookside to be part of the Scouting for Food drive as well. So is everybody excited for Saturday?
Yeah, we are.
That's great. Well, we can't thank you guys enough for coming to Milford TV today to share all of the details about Scouting for Food, and we can't wait to hear how everything went. So again, make sure you get those donations out there this Saturday, November 8th. In the meantime, for Elise, Adrian, Isaac, thank you guys so much. You did such a great job helping to spread the word here today. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
One final reminder, the Scouting for Food drive is taking place on Saturday, November 8th. Donation pickup begins right around 9 a.m., so make sure you get those donations out bright and early on Saturday morning, out in clear view so the Scouts can pick those up. And again, all of those proceeds going towards the Daily Bread Food Pantry. Such an important resource here in the community, and we're at a time in our country where those resources are needed now more than ever, so your generosity, again, will be very much appreciated by those in need. Moving on to our next top story now, we had an opportunity to bring our cameras over to Milford High School a few weeks ago to capture a first-of-its-kind green energy job fair. It's a first time in this program for Milford High School, one of just a handful of schools in Massachusetts participating in this initiative. So we took our cameras over to learn more about this program and learn more about what it is offering Milford High School students.
Today we are celebrating and kicking off our Clean Energy Innovation Pathway designation as a high school. So basically what that means is we were designated one of 5 high schools last year by the Commonwealth as developing career pathways within clean energy. So this is our kickoff year. We're really formulating our curriculum as well as industry partners. And what you see behind me is our kickoff of our Clean Energy Workforce and Career Fair. And they are wonderful partners at Framingham State University, worked with me around developing, we have 14 vendors here today, that cross-reference of clean energy industry, from geothermal drillers to solar tech to mineral and clean energy environment careers. So we are looking forward to students connecting with these vendors and really beginning our pathway.
At today's event, it's all about networking. Something that I really enjoy about this job in my position is I get to go out and meet people and speak about the work that we're doing. So speaking about students, letting them know that weatherization, it's a pretty burgeoning field, it's a new field. So letting them know that there's an opportunity out there, as well as connecting with all of the other businesses here so that we can continue to work together, because in order to help out this world and the energy crisis, we need to all work together to make our achievements.
Massachusetts is committed to carbon neutrality, so we are trying to achieve the carbon neutrality by 2050. So we are doing a lot of we want to install the devices and solar panel to decarbonize the carbon emissions, to contribute to the goal of Massachusetts to carbon neutrality by 2050. And the other reason is, I think for a personal level, we want to give a good environment for the future generations. I think that's very important. And the humanities.
We just learned about solar panels, and we learned about non-renewable energy versus renewable energy.
Focusing on clean energy is so important. It's the future of our built environment. The building industry accounts for approximately 1/2 of global emissions worldwide. So moving the needle in terms of clean energy and building systems and sustainable building is deeply important for the health of our planet and the health of our neighbors.
We saw a need because we looked at the Central Mass blueprint in workforce development, and over the next 5 to 10 years, clean energy jobs are going to be huge in Central Massachusetts. And for our students that are going off to college that want to study more, or for our students that want to go right into industry, we really wanted to develop a roadmap for them to have some success after post-secondary when they leave high school. So it is an accomplishment. We were one of 5 last year that were designated, and we're really focusing on the wide range of the clean energy umbrella. So it could be about our building pathways and carpentry program that we have here. How do they build clean houses and greenhouses, and how do you maintain those over the next 5 to 10 years? So it's really preparing our students successfully within a curriculum, within the school, but also that immersive exposure to what's actually going on in the industry. So we're super excited about it.
Yeah, so we're with Green Jobs Academy. We provide training and certification for individuals in the contracting field. The idea is weatherization, and weatherization is keeping places warmer in the winter and cooler in the summer. So making a house more energy efficient while also lowering costs for the individuals that we're supporting, as well as helping the environment.
It's really a pleasure and honored experience. I really want to meet the students, and I want to make them feel interest about carbon emission, and I want them to feel their personal decision makings and the clothing they wear actually relate to carbon emission and relate to reduce carbon emissions. I want them to get that connections. I just want to meet students.
It's really interesting because it's interesting to see how all the different how we can make our world sustainable and how these different companies are doing it.
Yeah, we were actually just looking at humpback whales and dolphins and their teeth and how they're actually made of keratin from our nails, and it's just basically teaching us how to conserve energy and why it's so important to use clean energy.
I am really hoping to inspire young students to get into this work, to be, whether or not it's with our company, but to get into clean energy and work in this industry. We have a huge need for the task force, and the work is really interesting and incredibly rewarding. And I think hopefully exposure for high schoolers means that they'll go into college and want to do this work.
And this is the kickoff, like I said. So this is our first year. So we're kicking it off with clean energy career workforce. And throughout the year, we're going to be working with our advisors to developing even more curriculum within the building, but also getting students out. So for example, next month we have students going out to the wind turbine testing facility in Boston, which is probably one of the only ones in the nation. And they really look at testing the wind turbines that are going on, that are being built and developed. And our engineering students are going to go out and get that exposure and really feed on that. Our work with the Dolphin Conservatory and the Whale Conservatory is going to continue for the next 3 years, but also expanding that into our building and trades program, like I said, in terms of how we build houses these days, how we weatherize houses. And my goal would be, over the next couple of years, is hooking up students with getting certifications before they leave here within clean energy, within the industry. So real-world industry credentials when they leave here gives them a leg up, whether they go into the workforce or college.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be interesting just to see maybe this will, I don't know, spark a new interest in me that I didn't know I had.
I know I want to go into the medical field, but I think learning about clean energy and how I can use it as a doctor in my future is very efficient, and it's a very good thing.
Well, we're running out of resources, and in this world, the more that we can conserve, the more that we'll be able to use in the future, the less we'll have to depend on these fossil fuels, these things that are not renewable. And as science is developing, we're learning different ways to use the energy more appropriately, and each year, weatherization continues to build on its tactics. So we're learning to conserve energy through these practices. So in continuing to focus on this and refine the field in order to get better tactics to conserve energy is going to be helpful to the entire world.
Our main partner has been the Krista McAuliffe Center out in Framingham State University, but we're also working with Waters Corp, which is a local agency, obviously considered construction, how they build clean energy housing and so forth in buildings. We have the Mass Center for Clean Energy, which is a big partner for us, as well as the Central Mass Workforce Development. We really work hard with them in terms of developing and having advisory groups and so forth to match and or develop curriculum that is matching today's industry. And industries change, year after year. So we want to be on the cutting edge, and our students want to leave here, whether they go into industry or college, super prepared. And I think we're going to be able to do that.
We're still a few months away from Milford's local town elections, but the Citizens for Milford is already gearing up for this year's election season by continuing a partnership that we had with CFM last year to be able to provide some interviews with municipal officials that hold many of the elected offices, to be able to share more of the details, more insight about these various municipal positions with people in the community so they can learn more in hopes of possibly getting more folks involved in our municipal election process. We were able to launch the first of our new interviews with the Citizens for Milford this week with a look at the position of Tree Warden, and we had a chance to be joined by the incumbent Tree Warden Chuck Reneau. Welcome in, everybody. We're so happy to bring you a new series of interviews leading up to the 2026 Milford Town election. This is an opportunity for us to share with you some of the duties and responsibilities for the various positions that you will see on the 2026 ballot. We'll be sharing some of the interviews that we brought to you last year, but also with some new positions on the ballot here in 2026. We're happy to bring you some additional interviews, and we're so pleased to be joined this week by Chuck Reneau. He is the incumbent tree warden here in the town of Milford. Chuck, thanks so much for joining us. Welcome.
Well, you're very welcome, Tim. It's a pleasure to be here.
Chuck, I think that tree warden may very well be one of those positions in town that folks see on the ballot, but they may not know a lot of the details on what's involved in this position. I'd love to open it up with you, maybe explaining a little bit of an overview of what the tree warden position is all about.
Well, we follow the Massachusetts general laws under Chapter 87, which spells out all of our powers and duties. Basically, I am in charge of all of the growths within the town of Milford. I work very closely with the park department, especially in the last few projects. The one at Draper Park, I picked out the type of tree that would be most suitable for that location. And little known to many is there are 13 of the trees which represent the 13 original colonies. I also put a lot of time in with the park department again in the last year for the park renovations. Also, I'm called out on many occasions to deal with down trees, mostly during storms. We'll get out and get those cleaned up off the road so that the traffic can pass, as well as speaking with many residents in town. They always have a question on trees and how to take care of certain aspects of them, trees that appear to be in bad shape. We generally get right out there and look at them and handle them as necessary.
And so it seems like this is a position that really works closely with other departments around the community.
Mostly the park department and sometimes the highway department.
What made you first want to run for a position like this?
Well, my background, I have a degree in arboriculture. I have a certificate from the state in invasive plant management. I've been involved in tree care for well over 50 years. And it's just fun. I love to be outside. I love to meet the people and do what's correct in the world of tree care.
And so that, I would imagine for someone running for a position like tree warden, there really is some education, some background, some qualifications that are really necessary to be successful in a role like this.
To be successful, yes. Tree work is a very dangerous job. It's in one of the top 10 most dangerous jobs within the country.
That's fascinating. What do you feel are some of the specific qualifications that are really essential for a position like tree warden?
Well, you really have to know about trees, how they grow, what the characteristics are, and so on, because if you don't, you get into trouble. It comes down to the right tree in the right place if you're going to be doing any planting of trees.
And then in terms of the position, again, for folks interested in more details on this position itself, what would you say is the time commitment involved, maybe week to week, month to month for this position?
Well, it's not a full-time position. However, I put in during the warmer months, spring through fall, approximately 20 hours per week, and that number will go down a little bit in the winter. However, if there are storms that require the tree warden to be out there, I am out there.
And then in terms of, I'm curious some of the bigger challenges for a position like this. I know you mentioned you're a go-to person if there are down trees in the area. I'm imagining maybe something like an invasive bug like lanternflies. I know we hear a lot about those. What are some of the big challenges that go along with this position?
The spotted lanternfly is in Milford. I've been in contact with the state people. They are monitoring it. Right now, there isn't anything much they can do, as this insect has over 100 host plants that it will attack. One of its favorites is the tree of heaven, which is also an invasive species in the plant world. And there are several invasive trees that we monitor for, look over, and remove them if we have to.
It's fascinating stuff. Chuck, a big picture question here as we start to wrap up. This position being part of the town, I know it's a bit of a niche position, but it's still an elected position, part of the local government here in Milford. Why do you think it's so important for folks to get involved with all of the various municipal roles in the community?
Well, it's very helpful to the town and the person who or department that they're involved with, you know, to put in some advice. There are a lot of people in town that have experience in different areas, and their experience is more than welcome.
It's great to know, and it's also it's such a pleasure to be able to talk to all of the different municipal roles here in the community to show people out there that whatever your area of expertise, you certainly have something to bring to the table to help the town of Milford. So if you're out there, if you're watching this interview, you certainly have something valuable to bring to the community as well. So we encourage everyone out there, get involved, get out and run for these various positions on the municipal ballot, and just continue to get involved, just as Chuck has done, doing a great job here in the community. Well, Chuck, we really thank you for taking the time to educate us on this role here in the town of Milford, and we wish you the best moving forward. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Quickly, before we wrap things up on this month's edition of the Milford Informer, let's bring you some of the sights of the recent playoff games we had a chance to cover here on Milford TV earlier this week. Both the girls and boys soccer teams making it into their respective MIAA playoffs. Both teams had a chance to play opening round home games, and both games were jam-packed with drama and very exciting endings for both teams. So you can see on your screen right now some of the top plays, some of the most memorable moments from two outstanding games that we had a chance to cover here on Milford TV. You can catch those games in their entirety, airing over on our educational channel as well as our Verizon HD channel. And of course, you can relive all of our coverage from this past fall sports season, including those two playoff games, over on our YouTube channel. Well, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of the Milford Informer. We thank you, as always, for joining us. And from all of us here at Milford TV, this is Tim Coet saying have a great week. So long, everybody.